Pixar released their newest movie Turning Red on March 11, 2022. And just like everything they do, it's absolutely jam-packed with secrets, references, and Easter eggs. Let's look at 21 of the best ones that Pixar hid in Turning Red. Pixar loves including references to their previous movies, and Turning Red is no exception. This one is also one of the hardest in the whole movie to spot. When May and her friends are in the girls' bathroom making plans to see Four Town live in concert, there's another Pixar character hiding out in the scene. It's hard to spot, but if you look closely, you'll see Nemo, or at least a sticker that just so happens to look suspiciously like everyone's favorite clownfish. And there's a lot more hidden Pixar references too. There's not one, but two references to the next Pixar film. The first is a little easier to spot, but that doesn't mean that most viewers didn't miss it the first time, as May goes gaga over a boy. Just like her, you were probably distracted by his perfect hair flip. But if you weren't, you might have noticed that he's wearing a green t-shirt with the word escapula on it. Escapula, which means scapula or shoulder blade in English, is the punk rock trio that appeared in the Battle of the Bands scene in Coco. This next is incredibly obscure, but you might have noticed if you really know your Coco details. Look in the background when May is running through the streets of Toronto after turning into a red panda at school. When she runs into a couple that's walking down the street and scares them, there's colorful pieces of paper hung on strings. These are called papel picado, which translates to punched or perforated paper in English. These are traditional decorations in Mexico that were also featured heavily in Coco during the Dia de los Muertos celebrations. The next Pixar reference is probably the most hidden of all, though. There's a super hidden reference to a Pixar movie that isn't even out yet. Just like how there was an incredibly hidden reference to Turning Red in the form of a Four Town record in Luca, you'll need really sharp eyes to spot this one. Did you catch what it was? Along with a bunch of other stickers on Miriam's skateboard is the logo for Star Command, the galactic organization that Buzz Lightyear belongs to, which we'll see much more of in Buzz's upcoming origin story film. The robot cat Socks, who will also be in Lightyear, also makes an appearance as a sticker on the skateboard. And of course, it wouldn't be a Pixar movie if the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story didn't show up somewhere. Pixar makes sure that the Pizza Planet truck appears in all of their movies, and you can spot it in Turning Red when May's running through the streets of Toronto on her way to the Four Town concert. Pizza Planet's logo can also be seen on the pizza boxes at Tyler's birthday party. Speaking of when May is rushing to get to the Four Town concert, look at the pose she takes when she finally embraces her inner red panda and decides to keep her transformation power. She leaps into the night sky where she's framed in slow motion against the moon. Does her very specific pose remind you of anything? It probably does if you're an anime fan, since it's a direct reference to many anime characters, including Sailor Moon, another seemingly average schoolgirl who possesses magical powers. And Turning Red has more direct homages to other famous media. Take Four Town, the boy band that May and her friends are obsessed with, for example. When they perform at the Sky Dome, which is also a real place in Toronto, by the way, though it's now known as the Rogers Centre, each member of the band is wearing their own take on an all-white outfit. This is exactly the same style that a real boy band used. Who is Four Town mimicking? It's the Backstreet Boys in their 1999 video for I Want It That Way. And you almost definitely missed another detail at the Four Town concert too. There's a great reveal in the movie that just like May and her friends, Tyler is also a huge Four Town fan. But he's not the only person who has been a secret Four Town supporter for the whole time. You only get a brief glimpse, but look who can be seen in the crowd. That's right, it's May's very own merman crush, Devin. And not only is he attending the concert, but he's also so excited that he's brought his disposable camera to snap a couple of photos. Cameras on phones weren't quite as mainstream in 2002 when the movie takes place. Once things really start going nuts at the concert, not because of the music, but because of May's mom rampaging in her giant red panda form, there are some of the hardest to spot Easter eggs in the whole movie. Pixar includes a reference in all of their films to A113, which is the number of a room at the California Institute of the Arts where many of their animators went to school. Turning Red has not one but two incredibly hard-to-spot instances of this Easter egg, the first being on the line shocker Dad's pushing during the ritual, and the second coming after the credits, when we see a pair of Four Town tickets that also have an A113 reference on them. Pixar's short films are sometimes just as memorable as the longer movies, but they often come before, and Pixar made sure to include some references to them as well. This first one makes perfect sense to show up in Turning Red, since it has a very direct connection to the film. Look in the background when May's getting off the bus and see if you recognize anything. This one is tough since it's hidden among a bunch of other signs, but there's one that says bow. If you don't remember it, think back to The Incredibles 2 and the short that was shown before it. That's right, the short was of course Bao and tells the story of a steamed bun that comes to life. Both Bao and Turning Red were written and directed by the same person, and the sign even uses the same font as the title in the film. And the steamed buns known as Bao show up a few minutes later too, when May helps her parents prepare a fresh batch. Bao are clearly very close to the writer-director Domi Shi's heart. But Bao isn't the only short that gets a reference in Turning Red. Just like most of us were in the late 90s and early 2000s, May is obsessed with her Tamagotchi-like digital pet. She even hangs it on her desk right where she can see it as she does her homework. But what gets a position of importance right next to her treasured possession? A ball of yarn with eyes? Well, that's not just any ball of yarn with eyes. That's Pearl from the 2018 Pixar short of the same name. And it appears that May is a fan of a lot of different Pixar shorts, since later, when she tries to hide from her mom what she's been working on, we get a glimpse at the back of her notebook. Along with a couple of other stickers is a very specific bunny. Do you recognize this one? It's the cute little bunny from the 2020 Pixar short Burrow. Burrow tells the story of a rabbit who's trying to build the perfect home but keeps accidentally digging into other bunnies' burrows, which causes her to become very embarrassed. A character dealing with embarrassing situations as they try to achieve their dreams? I wonder why May relates to this character so much. And it's not just Pixar films that May seems to be a fan of. Watch as May and her friend Priya share an elaborate handshake at school. Does it seem familiar? What if I asked if it felt fresh? That's right, it's a reference to the handshake that Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff would perform on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Did you spot Pixar's famous ball in Turning Red? The one that Luxo the lamp likes to play with during the Pixar title screen? It's appeared in just about every Pixar film, and this one is no exception. You only get a brief glimpse of it, but look at the pool in Tyler's birthday party and you'll spot it floating near the diving board. You might think that they wouldn't have been able to cram so many details into one movie, but there are still so many more, some of which you definitely missed. Take, for instance, when May is giving her mom a presentation on just why she must be allowed to attend the Four-Town concert. Not only is it clearly an extremely elaborate and well-planned presentation, which fits perfectly with May's overachieving character, complete with comparisons of the boy band to famous classical musicians like Mozart and Beethoven, but did you notice anything special about May's costume? Don't allow yourself to be distracted by the sparklers, because she puts on one very special article of clothing to help seal the deal. That's right, May is wearing the same green blazer that her mom sports throughout the movie. After all, you know what they say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and there's other incredible details you likely missed in the film too. Like when May is confined to her room after her parents learn that she's grown into her red panda power. It might seem cruel that they've taken all of her possessions out of her bedroom, leaving only a mattress on the floor, but you can see that it's for a good reason. If you look at the floors, wall, and door, you'll see that they're covered in scratches and paw prints, further showing that May can't yet be trusted to control herself when she turns into a magical animal. Even the window blinds and curtains have been damaged. Nothing safe, apparently. Another detail that probably was missed comes courtesy of May's grandmother, who, after spotting the 4s that are being projected into the sky from the Four-Town concert, comments that 4 is the worst number. It might seem completely random to have a least favorite number, but in Chinese culture some people believe that the number 4 is unlucky. That's because when speaking Cantonese, the number 4 is pronounced very similarly to the word death. This connection has made some people actually afraid of the number, and some Chinese buildings will even omit the 4th floor, jumping straight from 3rd to 5th. Just like how some buildings in the United States will choose not to have a 13th floor. And there's more details at the temple when they're having dinner. Like with the red panda statues outside, as May enters the temple for the first time in the movie, she greets each of the panda statues, giving one a high five and one a belly rub. She also calls out their name, Bart and Lisa, a clear nod to Bart and Lisa Simpson. But there's more secrets hidden in the temple. Take another look at the cats, who look to be living a very comfortable life inside the walls. Do they look familiar to you? Cast your mind all the way across the world, not to China but to Italy. That's right, if you're a fan of Luca, then you might have thought that those cats bear a striking resemblance to Massimo's cat Machiavelli. Their fur might be a little longer and their coloring is different from their Italian feline counterpart, but their design is clearly meant to be the same. Perhaps those gatos are from the same familia. And you might think it's random, but May's mom's license plate is one of the most important details in the whole movie. The license plate spells out the word systems and is meant to honor the systems team at Pixar, who thanks to their hard work allowed the animators and other crew on Turning Red to continue working on the film from their own homes. I hope you liked the video and found some things you missed the first time in Turning Red. Make sure you subscribe to Movie Logic for more daily movie facts, trivia, and Easter eggs.